Hey guys, so I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back, Weekend Beat Time. This week we're gonna step it up a notch. All right, this week we're gonna step it up a notch. I've been showing you techniques that really train your ears and get you guys thinking about composing and doing that sort of stuff. And this week is we're gonna take it to that next level. We're not gonna make a beat. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make an instrumental. All right. The difference being that a beat is just kind of like a loop, but what we want to do is in this episode is we're gonna start thinking of things in terms of an instrumental, in terms of a whole song. All right, guys. So that's what we're gonna do this week. There's just a couple of like an overview, like I do in every video. I'm gonna give you guys an overview of what we're gonna cover. Start breaking it down. We'll go to the turntable. I've got a song picked out. I haven't made the beat yet. So, and we'll go step by step. We'll make this beat. I'm hoping this video doesn't go for too long. I'm not very good with the editing, but just hang around. We'll make the beat together. You know, I'm sure there's more stuff that's gonna come out while we're making this beat. So hang in there, guys. Let's do the overview, okay? Let's do an overview. Now, guys, I don't want to come across like you guys are a bunch of kids or anything, and I'm just being condescending. But this is literally how I picture frequencies, right? I picture them like a cake, all right? So what we're going to do is, this is going to be the bass, as in the actual bass that we're going to put, and the bass is going to come in and out of the beat. Picture this as a loop running this way, like that, okay? We're going to have a bass that's going to be coming in and out. It's not going to be really heavy and just clashing through the whole loop, right? It's going to come in and out. It's going to interact with our bass sample, all right? Our bass sample right there. The bass sample is going to come in and do all that. But notice it's sitting from the low to the mid frequencies, all right? It's not filling the whole spectrum of sound. We've just got that. It's a good idea, because vocals usually sit in this range here. So you want them to sit on top of the instrumental and not clash with the vocals if that's what you end up doing. This part here is just going to be what we sprinkle. It's going to be just in a slightly higher frequency than the bass sample. And this is to start building an ambience to the instrumental. And it could come in, it could fade out. This is what I mean by the entrance. When the loop starts, we might create an echo. We might create something to start that loop off. And although it's not going to happen on the same loop, I put the build up here, and the build up is going to go up as well. And what that's going to be is that's going to lead us to the chorus, which is basically going to sit on top, frequency wise, right? It's going to be from high to mid. It's going to sit on top of our bass, on top of our bass sample and everything. Right? And if you notice the frosting around the edge of our cake here on the outside, that's what I always use, right? I use white noise, I use reverb, I use ambience. This could be the crackle from a vinyl, it could be anything like that, all right? We're going to use that to seal the beat together. This actually works really nice when you take it to the compressor. When you take it to a compressor, or you take it to your mastering, someone who masters it for you or something like that, this really comes through really nicely, all right? You got your frequencies all panned out with that nice white noise sitting on all over the beat, really making it grimy and making it sound like golden era. I mean, we're making 90s style hip hop here, right? That's what we do. All right, let's go to the turntable. I want to show you guys the beat, the song. Alright guys, here's the vinyl. We are going to be using the stylistics, which is pretty common. I think a lot of people have sampled these guys, but that doesn't matter. We're just going to, just make a beat. So we're going to use track number 3, which is this one right here. You Are Beautiful. Alright. We're going to be using that in that song. Now, hey man, I wouldn't even call this an update, but I picked up another record player. So I just want to quickly just point out just some of this stuff. You know, it's an interesting record player. You know, we can mess with the bass, we can mess with the treble here. It's got a couple of filters, a high and low pass filter. The turntable itself, I think, is not very good. I think it's actually a piece of shit, to be honest. But it's actually being put with this amplifier thing, and look, it's really good. The record player is really crunchy, and using the filters, it allows you to sort of manipulate the sound a little bit more. It's actually pretty good, man. I mean, it even came with the photo of your mama, and I think it's a good buy. Look, it only cost me like $50, and I think it's pretty good. I'm not a turntablist, man. I'm not going to be scratching on this thing, so I don't need a Technics turntable. What I need is a record player that's going to give me character. That's what I need. And so don't sleep on these, man. If you guys are out at a swap meet, at the markets, whatever it is, a flea market, if you spot one of these, if you spot a record player, hey man, jump on it. Just take it home. Maybe when you play your records through it, it would have a couple of equalizers. It might sound really nice. This one's actually dirty as fuck. This thing is filthy, man. When you hear the beats, when you hear the records playing on this, it really gives them a real crackle. It's actually quite nice. I'm pretty happy with this, man. So I just thought I'd add that in there. You know what I mean? For you guys to keep that in the forefront of your mind. All right. Let's start looking for all those bits and pieces on the record. All right, guys. Now these things work with equalizers, right? So what I found on my record player is that if I put the low pass filter, meaning it cuts off the low pass, on this one it does the opposite, right? So it cuts all the low end off, but then I actually manually put up the bass on the record player as well. I think the frequency wave that it creates on the equalizer on this thing actually turns out really nice. It doesn't sound all muggy and echoey and shit, you know what I mean? So it sounds nice. Now I found the sample, check this out. You'll hear, man, it sounds filthy, this thing, right? Alright, it's the start of the song. This I feel like it's going to just be good for build-up, not for build-up, but just to add. It's too busy to be a bass sample, too busy. That, see it's going dun, 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 dun. That's good as a build-up. Right? So that's not our core sample. What that is, we're going to use that, but we're going to use it the way they've used it. They've used it to introduce the verse. You know what I mean? That's how they've used it. So that's how we're going to use it. Now, we're going to distort these samples. We don't want to use the samples exactly how they are, right? We don't want to do that, guys, because you know these guys created the song. They composed the song. Don't bite their shit, all right? What we're doing is we're going to change it up as much as we can. We're using the instruments and the energy, but we are not going to use their sample and just loop it, all right? Cool. I'm going to sample that part in two sections. One being the start and one being the end, the sort of end part of that, all right? That part. All right, I'm going to sample that in. All right, guys. Now I think I found the bass sample on this. It actually comes in straight after this. Right? Straight after this. You are beautiful. See, it's mellow? Not just because your eyes are. It's mellow. I know that's true. I'm gonna sample that in, alright? I've gone through the whole track. That is the most mellow part of the whole song, alright? The rest is too busy. The rest we have to use for other things like a chorus and sprinkles, all that sort of stuff. I'm gonna sample that in, all right? Guys, this record hasn't got a lot of bass samples, but this is what I'm having to resort to, all right? Basically, it's looping, and what I'm doing is I've got vocals playing for the majority of it, and then the vocals drop off, and I get about 2 pads worth of bass sample. And that's what I'm taking out. And then she goes and she sings again. You know what I mean? Does my head in. And then she backs off. And then she allows the beat to run just for another 2 pads. All right. So when you look at the 16 pads or whatever it is that you're sampling onto, you're gonna have a lot of rubbish, and then you're gonna have 2 pads that you're gonna be able to play with, that you're gonna be able to pluck out. All right. So check this out. See, look. There.
Someone
to
pull me through.
That's all it is. When he backs up, or she backs up, I can't tell. That's what I'm using. That's what I'm using. Found a little piece. Might be a sprinkle. Check this out. Check this out. There. You hear that? It's like a key that comes in. But what happens is, this guy is yelling through the whole thing except for when those keys come in. And it only comes in on the left speaker. So it's only panned to the left. So what I'll do is, I'm going to sample that, but I'm not going to sample the whole thing. I'm only going to sample the left speaker on mono, right? Because that little key is panned to the left, all right? So I'm going to sample that little bit, and hopefully it hasn't got too much spill, because then I'll have some keys, and I'll pluck that motherfucker out, and I'll put it on my beat, and it will be mwah. Let's do that. Keys, strings. See that? Yeah, the strings. That's my chorus. That's what we're gonna use for the chorus. This is towards the end. It's good, it's good that. Alright, we get it, we're beautiful. Alright, so I'm gonna sample that. This needle actually has a cool feature that it plays 45 records, which is like the old hard plastic ones, I think. And what it does is, man, you can flip the needle so the needle sits, I think it's like a little bit more loose in the groove, could be. But what it does, man, it makes it like really, really crackly. So I'm going to use that setting to give it a different sound for the chorus. Do you know what I mean? So I've been playing with the knobs and all that sort of stuff, but I'm going to give it a different sound using the machine as well, not just the filters, man, not just the you know, like your plugins and stuff. Use the equipment. All right, cool. So I'm gonna sample that in. Woo! Okay, guys. So I've chopped everything up. What I've done is now I'm working on my bass. All right, as in my bass sample, not the actual bass, but my bass sample. As I'm chopping up the samples, I'm getting a feeling of maybe what I want the beat to sort of sound like. So I'll make my drums first. All right, I'll do a video on doing your drums first, then your sample, or doing your sample then your drums. You get a different effect, but I like going with drums first. These are the drums that I've put together. Very choppy at the moment. Okay. So I've got those, and what I've done is I've chopped up my sample. All right, so my sample's here. It's got a lot of vocals on it. All right, yeah, come to the MPC. I just want to show you something that I've done. All right, here's the mixer, right? And on the MPC, see where that line is right there? If I bring that up and down, that's controls the volume. All right. Now look at how many pads I've had to get rid of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They all have spill of vocals on it. This was the sample that I used that I wanted to get my bass out of, right? My bass sample. And I haven't got much left, to be honest. See, look, all these are missing, right? I'll run through them. All those are missing. I pitched it down. Sorry, I have not pitched it down. I've tuned it down to -3. This is what I like. All right. I've tuned it down to -3. I think I like the way that key sounds. And I'm basically going to put together a sequence. All right. I'm going to put together a rough sequence and let you guys take a look at it. Have a listen. Alright guys, so this is the sequence that I've come up with, and it's really rough and it's got a lot of spill, but what I'm aiming for is the rhythm, just the keys, alright? Bass sample, let's do it. Alright, so there's a lot of things that are coming through there because I was basically, to keep those going, I had to tap them really fast, right? So I'm going to clean them up. I'm going to do a bit of stretching, low passing, all that sort of stuff. I'll let you guys know exactly what I did, alright? Let me clean it up first. Cool. So I have the sequence here. All it is, low pass. Low pass helps get rid of all like the hi-hats and the percussion that's coming in and cutting through the track. So it's a good bass sample. I put the low pass on it. The other thing that I did was there was one part that had a bit of vocals that was spilling onto it. This was one pad. What I did with that pad is I just stretched out that pad to the point where the vocal was on the outside. So the vocal didn't come into it, man, and then I ended up with a clean sequence. All right, it's patchy, but it's old school, all right? You gotta make do with what you have, all right? So yeah, I actually want to show you something that I also did using this that funny sample that we only had a little key. Remember this? And it just had that little key. Well, I took that key, I pitched it down. That has a bit of spill on it. I basically cut it like this. And then just to add a little bit of ambience. See, I got that little tone just coming through. I'm just putting that tone in there, alright? Right now it's too present, so I'm going to bring the volume down so it's just playing in the background. I'm going to put a high pass to get rid of the lows, just to make it very faint in the background, the way they had it on the record. Alright, I'm going to do that, put it in the background. So we're up to the next part. We're still building on the beat. So far it hasn't got energy, you know what I mean? Because we've just got our bass samples, all our fills in there. Right? Now this was the next sample. Alright, so we're just going to take that, we're going to keep flipping. So we're back, pitch down, it's tuned down the same as the other samples because we don't want all the tuning to go off, right? But I just like tuning down, that's what I like doing. I think that's old school. And one thing that I've noticed is that the sequences that we're putting together are using a lot of repeats. Using a lot of repeats, man. So this is the sequence. The little tone's coming through, I like it. Alright, we need to add a bass. Bang, and just like that, the bass is done. Remembering our cake, the bass is coming in and out. It's interacting with the bass sample and the sprinkles that we've put on top, which is like that tone. And that part that says enter, just this part right here. That's the part that were those keys that we just added before. Alright, so with bass. So for the chorus, I think the beat's already very busy. So all I've added is just this part. That's going to be the chorus. That's actually from our chorus sample, the one where they used heaps of crackle. I mean, you can hear that, dude. And that's with the low pass on it too, man. So it will come in. Just hear it at the top there. And that's for a chorus, you know what I mean? Without it, see what I mean? Verse is going, it's all good. Chorus comes in, adds that ambience. Now this works in, it's good for two parts, man, because it kind of works as a white noise as well, you know what I mean? this beat's already too busy and has too much crackle on it, man. So I don't want to add any more white noise and that sort of stuff. Sounds pretty full as it is. You know what I mean? Alright guys, so before you take off, just to recap, this is what we're doing. Grab your sample and sample the whole song. Go from the start, work all your way through. Look for parts that you could use that are quiet, parts that are busy, parts that are expressive, white noise that could come out of it, synths, strings, keys. Sample all of it, man. Sample all of it. It's a lot harder if you're using the older equipment because the sample times are restrictive. But with this sort of stuff, man, you can make a cake. You know what I mean? And that's it, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in again. You know what I mean? If you're new, subscribe. You know what I mean? Share it around. I really appreciate it. I got some giveaways coming up, all that sort of stuff, man. Because I do a lot of art as well, man. So I'll do some sort of beat making art, and then I'll give that away just to say thank you. You know what I mean? So until next time, guys. Peace. Take care of yourselves, man. Be good to your family. Don't hit your loved ones, man. Keep domestic violence down. And I'll see you next week, alright guys? No smoking crack. Peace.